Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together these ice cooler box cards from Simply Crafty SVGs. There are two styles of coolers per se. You can call them igloos. One's more of a traditional, one more of a modern, and they are interchangeable, so the inserts will work in both. So these are the two cards I'm going to show you how to make in this video. So throughout this video there are sections where I'm not using these cards to make it, because during the first filming of it, although these are fine the way they are, I didn't show you how to do a couple things correctly. So it's a little bit edited today, a little bit more than normal. But these are them. Here's the cooler with can card, and it pulls flat. And here is the cooler with the bottle card. So let's get to it. So we're going to start with the can card. So they go together similarly, so I'll tell you when it's different. Each one, so this is just the can with the ice cooler with the can, so they both have a slightly different look, but they both are assembled the same. So I'll show you one assembly, although on the actual box, but they're both the same, and I will show you where they're a little bit different when we get to those parts. So we have these inserts are the blue ones with the ice. So we have each of these. Then these have the pieces to the card. So we're going to put these card pieces aside and deal with this, because this is the one that takes the most time. So the front, there's 3 levels of ice. There's one that'll attach to the front inside. That's this one. The one with the 2 cans or 2 bottles, same thing. And the one with 3 cans or 3 bottles. So this is where they're similar. So I just can show you. We have 2 bottles, and the other one we have 3 bottles. So on both cards, the actual ice pieces are identical, so they'll match up the same. And we'll do the assembly is exactly the same. So I already did one. So we're going to do, here's one of them. So this is the front one. So they're exact same shape, so just know that you do it the same way. So as I stated earlier, there is a couple portions in the video that I had to redo, so this is one of them. So this portion is just going to show you how to layer the ice cubes onto these little sections here. So it's the same, basically it's the same for both cards. All 3 inserts have the same panels, the same shape. The only thing is that you will need to know which panel goes to what, and I'll explain the ice cubes in a minute. So the best way to do that is to get a pen or pencil, get each of these, line them up, so just say that's the front, so I'm going to call it number 1. So I'm going to move that aside. Let's find out. This is the one with 2 cans or 2 bottles is the middle insert. So you can do middle or 2. I'm just going to do 2 so it lines up. And then just to verify, so we all feel good about the whole thing, number 3. So let's go ahead, I'm going to flip it over and go 3. So we won't see the back of it. So we'll put that aside. Now we have these 3. So let's start with number 1. There's number 2, number 1. It doesn't make a difference how it's situated, so make sure that it's situated up. It is. I wrote the number on it, just number 1. I can't tell which is the top, and that's the top. Let's pull them down here. So I pushed 2 and 3 up, and I'm working on the front one. So what we'll have when you cut out the ice cubes are 5 of one and 8 of the other type. So I had inked them, and then I put them together by shape, and I kept them together this way. And I put the clips on the right, holding them, so I know this is the bottom. So that's how I did it. However you want to do it, whether you want to stack it up and just put it aside in your mat, But I had them all mixed up, inked, and then I put them back together. So it's not horribly difficult, but they're very similar. And the reason I say that, you want to know that, is because of this. I'll tell you how they go on. So this is the flat one, the one with 8. That's the one with 5. So the very, very first insert, what you're going to need are 4 of these and 1 of those. The rest are easy, by the way. This is the only mix. So there's 5 on this, and on these 2, there's only 4. So see, I just turned that around. So there's a little rounded bottom on this one with 5 of them. And that one's going to fit square in the middle. So we'll do that first. So what I'll do is I'll situate them all out after this. I just don't want to lose them, because I can move things on the mat and have it move. So to get the layered feel, so it's every other one on this one, starting at the end, but I started in the middle. So now I'm going to do the 2 flat ones on the right here. So I stuck to 2 different shapes of ice cubes to try to make it easier. But you need a little change. It needs to be variated a little bit. So you can see this one, I have them kind of situated incorrectly. That goes like that. So just kind of watch how you're putting them on. I just basically angled them back and forth like that. So try to make it easier. I put that one on wrong, but you can tell you can't really tell. So 2 more of these. And then we'll finish this. I don't have nails, so it's just harder for me to pick up things. Okay, so now that we get the first one down, I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to pull these 2 down. So this one's still number 2. This is 3. So 3 is every other one, but it starts at the second one. Same thing with 2 and 3. You start at the second one and put it on. So this bottom one, number 2, are all the rounded bottom ones. Number 3 are all the, I'll pull it down in a minute here. And you can see when they're side by side. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put on each one separately. So just start at the second one again, and then we'll just go ahead and continue to add them all. I'm going to add glue to all of them, and then we can line them all up. And then we'll finish this. You can watch as I finish this task. So once we get them all layered, we can go ahead and put the cans and the bottles on, and we'll show that in the next step, and then add these on top. This one you can do right away. So for the cans, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 obviously cans. One has an angle to it. That one goes on the 3 on the right, and the others are all the same size, so they'll just match up to the shape right there. And they all go together the same. I was going to make it easier. Let me pop this out. That doesn't belong with... I lost a piece already, so I'm gonna... Oh, there it is. Gotta find it. So, that's my little... Make sure I don't have any lost pieces. And all this does is this goes on the top. So I was going to make it so the background, I tried it to make it a little bit easier by making the background a big piece that's metallic, but it just didn't look the same. The layer look was not what I wanted. So I'm using this pick me up tool. So I already did all the other ones so we could get through that and shorten the video a little bit. But you just need to piece them all together before you put them on. So I just line it up. Put a little glue and just line it up. And this is just good for little pieces. It gets a little gooey at the end sometimes. It just has like a little sticky end. Then you go ahead and add this, glue this on. So if you have the beer, the bottle one, it's not beer, it's just bottles. It just looks like beer bottles. They're similar. So let me move that aside just for a sec. The way you put them on are similar, but only 4 of them are the same size. Or 3, I'm sorry. So there's 3 of them that they're the same size. As you can see, this one is a little bit shorter. So the shorter one goes right here, and the angled one goes right there. And the reason why is if you put the shorter one, put the longer one in the middle, you're going to see it's going to dip below the ice. That's not the longer one. Get the longer one. So if you're not concerned about just that little thing, it'll kind of show. That's up to you, but that's the reason why they're slightly different. So that, and that are the same size, and then that is shorter. It was out of view, and that has an angle. So I'll put those on really quick. I was going to, but my glue bottle. The only thing with these fine tip applicators is if you leave the top off for too long, then they can dry up and clog. So the longer one goes right here. Line it up. You may want to pick it up and make sure it's lined up properly before it dries. And then this other one, let me piece it really quick. So I'm just going back and forth between the 2 cards. It just seems more appropriate since we're at the same place. And I have little cut lines in here, so make sure if you have textured papers up on the textured side, and there will be little cut lines for you to line up where this should go. And just try to get it right on it so you can't see it. Try not to get glue on the top like I did. And then you can go ahead and put this little bottle cap on, and you might need to use a tool like that, pick-me-up tool. I have it on there. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. Pick it up and adjust it with my hands. Oopsie. So I know that's the teeniest piece, but I think it's worth it for the look. I have a little bit of curve in it, but not enough to make it so hard to cut. And then we can go ahead and I'll just add it to this, and that'll be ready to put together. So with both of them, so this is number 2 because I put 2 on the back, so you'll know it goes here. So we'll go ahead and line them up. What would be fun with this card, I thought about it, I know I really can't use like trademark names or anything, but having a soda company, you could do like a little logo on there. If somebody has a favorite soda or other canned drink that they like, and you could put like a little, print and cut a little logo, like just make this whole thing that color. I thought that would be fun. That's I need number 3. See, I put the number on upside down, so I started putting it on upside down. The other thing that these might be good, kind of popped up with foam tape too, to give it a little bit more dimension, like it's amongst the ice a little bit more. Maybe I'll do that with the, I haven't put the bottle one together yet because I still want to show you, but I use different ink on both. I like the ink that I used on the other card better. This was a little bit too bright for me. This was an older chalk ink that I had from Quick Quotes, and the other one is, and I'll show you in a minute, Broken China Distress Oxide. So we have those all layered. So these are already put on, but you can see it's a softer color. And the same thing here. So it's a little softer color. I don't have these numbered, so I don't know which one's which. We'll know once I put it on. So I'll get these on to get these up to snuff, and then we'll go to the next section. So I did, not on the front, but I did the pop-up dots. So that kind of gives it some, it's pop-up foam squares I had to give it a little bit more dimension. So I do like the look at that. So if you wonder what that looked like. So we're going to go ahead and put together the, I'm going to show you how to put together this. The one that, the one with cans first. Sorry for that little stutter-ish thing I'm doing right here. So these are all panels. So let's find the card pieces. So this layers together, so let's go ahead and layer some pieces together. These are the two big card pieces. And they look identical for the bottle card. The front, but the style of the cooler is different for both cards. So these are the front panels and side panels. And this is the back panel. Get these little clips out of our way. And this is for the, there's one that has a sharp edge that fits like there, and this is a back panel, optional back panel if you have a dark card, which I do. So we'll go ahead and layer this on. So this is like an open cooler. This is the back of an open cooler, and those are supposed to be the clips when on some of the, it's similar but not identical, but it's, when you have some of them open now, they have these little clips. I just thought of modeling after, somewhat after a Yeti, but it's not really a Yeti. It's my own imagination. So you want to get that lined up best you can. So that's the inside, like if you have an open cooler, that'll go on the back. And then this would be best to pop it up like an internal lip or something. So you might even want to make it a different color. So let's go ahead and add some foam tape. I'm almost out of this thick stuff, so let's go ahead and use that. It's probably too much, but just enough to get both sides. So whenever you can, you want to work on a flat surface. So we'll put that aside, put it up there, and then we'll take these pieces. So let's start with the sides. So that's for the front. For the sides, you simply want to layer this on that. And then so these pieces, and then we have these two pieces that will go like right here. So I'm going to just show you. And this goes on top. So I'm going to put those together, and then this one goes like this to give you excuse me, a layered look. That goes on there. So I'll finish that. I'll put those together right now, and you can watch me put them, lay them together. So we're going to start with the front and side panels. So here are the side panels. You simply want to layer it like this. This piece, that piece, this goes on the top edge right there, and this goes down here. And then this one goes the top edge, this layers on there to fit that, like that, and then glues on this. So let me finish that, and then we'll go on to assemble the card. So for the can card, these are the items, the panels all put together. For the bottle card, it just goes like this on the front. So that's the only thing you need to really prep. And then it's all about how we put it on the card. And I'll show you those panels prior to putting it on. Actually putting the card together is just a little bit different, but not much. So let's go ahead. This is the can card. That's the blue. So I made can card blue with red cans. So we want to go ahead and just place these on. Oops, I have it upside down. Need the flat side on top. So it's helpful to fold it first so you know, so it helps to place the panel, but it's always easier to put the panel on prior. And this is a nice little place for a little sentiment, to put a little, maybe pop up a little happy birthday, or have a cool retirement, something fun. I'm going to add a couple just ideas in the notes if you, I didn't include any sentiments, but you can do a lot with it. It just depends on what you want to use it for. So these just go like this. And I didn't put glue initially on the handles. The reason is that you can either have them flip up so they're functional, or just pop them up with the little pop-up tape. So if you did that, I just think that would be fun. It has to be really thin and small. So I'm going to just cut a little piece like this, stick it back here, and pop it up. So it has dimension. I think it looks much better that way than flat. I did my very first card when I was testing this design with glue, and it looks better with a little more dimension in it. And with box cards, because they are flat, you can flatten them to fold. This one particularly, I made it size so it would fit well into an A7 envelope. But you could always put these on later, but I just find let's get that kind of stuff done beforehand. It just makes it easier. And then I'm just going to flip that up. I didn't do that first because I didn't know whether I'd get in the right place, and do that last. A little glue. So now, we can put this on before or after we put that back on. It really doesn't matter because it won't hinder it. But I'm going to show how this is put on. Again, this is a part of the video that's slightly different because this is the part I didn't show correctly. So when you put this panel on, you want the top of this edge right here on the sides to line up right below that. I know it's a whole panel, but I just want it peeking up. So I could have not used the whole, I could have used a partial panel. I understand that, but I just thought it was easier to make the same shape ice cubes so you could layer them as you needed. So I wanted to get this look, but I wanted it smaller in the front so you could see the back inserts a little bit better. So let's go ahead and glue this on. So you can see I'm going all the way up. So it could be a little bit shorter. That's a little bulky. But some people might want to use this for something else. So remember, you can use elements from cards on different things. So I'm just going to line this up underneath. I think it's just easier flat. So I think it's easier to do it before you attach this back panel, but in the next step it'll show you to attach this first, and then we'll just skip over this section because I did in that portion of the video put it too high. So just make sure you follow these instructions, or you do it to taste. So if you like it higher, then that's up to you. So when we glue on the back piece, we have to make a decision whether we want the textured paper showing inside or on the back. So if you want it on the back, which I do because the inside is going to be hidden with this, so I don't really care whether there's textured paper up there. We want this facing us so we can glue that underneath. So this is just a different, like, tricky, so there's a little cut line. So I'm going to try to line it up to this bottom. So this bottom is straight, so we can line it up so these little rounded marks, they fold correctly. So this is where using wet glue comes in handy, because if you just clean off my tip a little bit here, I'll show you how you can do this. Add glue, and of course I have the textured side up for me because I want it on the back. I'm going to visually see where that cut line is and kind of scooch it in. Before it dries, you can, oops, let's do that one more time. Before it dries completely, and try to keep glue off your fingertips. I'm going to fold it over, make sure it's the right place and that it's matched up as close as possible on the bottom. So it's very close. But I wanted that rounded bottom piece. I thought it was It makes it different. So we don't want to close it up quite yet. We want to put the inserts, and I have a little dry glue here. So we can put this one in first. This is just going to go in the front like this. So if you want them equidistant, you can go ahead and fold it forward, or at least it's close to being mid distance. I don't have it exactly. These go backwards. So this is the one we want to put in first. Trying to make sure we get this in order here. So you want to make sure that we can put the front one in this case first. We fold those tabs forward. So we're going to go ahead and glue it right there. So it goes like that. So we're going to go towards the top. So kind of go towards as close to the top as possible. But it's angled a little bit, so you're going to have to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to put glue on the back. And make sure this is just slightly left of this fold here. A little bit down. And we're going to fold it over. Make sure it's kind of matched up on the other side. So get that nice and glued down. Then this folds back. So fold the right side back and the left side, but we're going to work on the right side. And we're going to point this towards the back. So that back fold right there, you can go a little bit to the right of it. Go as high as possible as you can. And you can see up to here, right there. So I'm going to go right here. You don't have to be right up to it. I'm just kind of lining it up and seeing how straight it is with the other ones. So you can line it up like that. And before I glue it, let me show you what it looks like already. It's not set in place yet, but it's coming together. So now all we've got to do is fold it like that. See right here? And one's going to glue forward, so we know we need that under. So we'll do the bottom one, the front one first. I'm going to flip it around and show you. So that bottom one has to flip forward. So with that, fold it that way. We're just going to flatten it down. I'm just correcting it to make sure it goes as straight as possible across. So I'm pulling it up a little bit. And this one, we just fold it up, add some glue, and then we'll fold it right back down right there. So make sure you fold it up like that. I'm going to add glue right here. I'm going to kind of go against my right-handedness for the camera. Just flatten it. And you see how it goes right up to that? And then we'll fold this over. Add glue to that tab. Fold it flat. Just making sure it lines up on the bottom. So I'm going from the side to make sure it lines up well enough. Pull it flat so it does glue where it needs to. It's a little bit off on the bottom, but that'll be okay. Then when you flip it open, there you go. So we just need to add this top piece, and it'll finish that one off, other than the back and the top piece. So here's the optional message panel, so you can put it either way you want. Kind of had it rounded more on the top, so you can add a little message. Or add more embellishments, whatever you want to do. I'm going to put it towards the cut line, so that cut line is hidden. And then we'll just glue this on here. So there it is. So it'll fold flat, descend, and then sit up. So the only difference for the bottle one is the way that are the handles. So it all goes together the same, but it'll be like this. So it still has the cut lines on one bottom part, so the same thing. The only difference is on that one you just put this at the top once you have it together. The inserts go in the same, and the fronts go like this. They are down here, so you want to go towards the bottom for all of them to have that white edge at the top. And then because this is textured on one side, we have 2 additional pieces. I gotta find them here. That you want to put on the other side if you use double textured paper that's not textured on both sides. So it's textured on both sides. So we want to put those 2 little pieces on. So I'll put that together, and then I'll show you what that looks like together. So here this card is. So you can see I put all these panels down here, and the other side of the handle there. And then I already put that first panel, so just in case you didn't catch it the first time, I'm going to do it one more time since I have to do it anyways. So I might as well show on video, just in case. Because I know sometimes it's hard if you're new to box cards. So the front one, we want to fold those tabs forward, and it's going to go like this. And that same thing, these are going to be folded backwards. It'll go like this. Okay, so the way we want to do that is this will be folded towards this fold right here. So I'm going to put it upside down so you can see. So you can see it's like this, right? So we're going to get it towards the top as much as possible. So when we have it folded upwards, we're going to put glue on the back. And when I'm looking at it, it's the right panel right tab that I'm doing it on. And let's take it out of upside down so I don't really mess you guys up. So it's that side. And right here where it folds, we want it to go right almost up to it, but you don't have to go exactly up to it. I'm kind of pick it up to the top, and I'm going to fold it over. And the way you can make sure, there's another way to make sure it's straight. You can kind of eyeball it across to see where if it lands about the same place from the top. Okay, and then you want to make sure it's good and glued on. And then the back one, so it's going to go like that. So we're going to glue this one right here. Oops, I'm sorry, that one, the right one again. And they're folded backwards this time. So we're going to get it towards the back side edge. So you see how that right there? We're going to kind of fold it up and just go just to the right of that. And you can go, it doesn't matter if you go a little bit further to the right. And I'm kind of going up a little bit. I'm going to just line it up. Just make sure it's kind of straight. Now it's harder for me to do this because I have foam dots on this, but it still works. So now, just like we did before, I'm going to fold it over flat like that. This has to get folded under. So I'm going to add glue underneath there, and we're going to fold this up and add glue there. So I can do both at once. I didn't do that last time, so I am speeding this part up. So I'm putting glue on. I'll show you in a minute. So if you do it this way, just be careful. I just lift this. I'm going to fold it back because it has to be folded right here. Okay. And it's not quite there yet. I'm just kind of adjusting it where it should be. Should be a little higher. This one is just going to fold down flat. So it won't really fold right until we get it folded down. And I have, like I said, foam dots. So I'm applying pressure on those two tabs. And then before I glue that end, let me show you. So it fits in there well. So all we have to do is fold this last part. We're going to add glue to this. We're going to fold it inside, so I'm just having it outside for now. It's better if you have it flat. I'm just folding it flat down once I get that under. Again, it's bulky because of the dots, the foam dots. And I don't know if you'll notice, but I put the texture on the inside of this one because there's a place to write already on the back because it's white. So I'm not adding that little addition. I'm not adding anything to the back for message. So I have the textured on the front. So this is the case where you'd have the textured on the front. So there it is. That's the finished card. So much similar, and again, you could say, you know, have a cool birthday, you're one cool dad. I mean, think about all the cool things you could add to kind of go with the ice cooler. So here are the finished cards. So we have the can card, and you can see that I lowered that front before I showed you this. And here we have the bottle card. So there's a lot you can do with these. I think it's a good generic card depending on who you're giving it to. Definitely an alternative for a masculine card. Or I think even some card kids with sodas. Just my thought. Anyways, they do flatten to fit into A7 envelope. You can, there is not one with the file, but you can get one or make one with the basic envelope set, which is a free SVG from Simply Crafty SVGs. Again, if you like this video, please give me a little thumbs up and or subscribe, and thanks for watching.